and welcome to this presentation. It will be an analysis of the social CSR practices of Wells Fargo. So we are committed to advancing diversity and inclusion by helping ensure that all people across our workforce, our communities, and our supply chain feel valued, respected, and have equal access to resources, services, products, and opportunities to succeed. This is a statement from the Diversity and Inclusion Statement from November 2020. In today's increasingly political society, it is important that businesses adapt to the market. This includes Wells Fargo. As a company in the banking industry, Wells Fargo has an opportunity to be a part of what makes people's worlds go round, their money. An analysis of Wells Fargo's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats can illuminate areas in which Wells Fargo is doing well and in which areas they can improve in assisting people in this important life area. Some of Wells Fargo's strengths include their size, their dedication to their employees, and their high goals. So one of Wells Fargo's primary strengths is its size. Though it has fallen from its status in 2016 as the largest bank in the United States, Wells Fargo has managed to stay near the top and is now the second largest bank in deposits, home mortgage servicing, and debit cards. As of January 14, 2020, Wells Fargo operates 7,400 locations, 13,000 ATMs, employs 260,000 active team members, has spread to 32 countries and territories, and services 70+ million customers. Their next strength is their dedication to their employees. In 2019, Wells Fargo invested $3.11 million in employee benefits programs, including healthcare, 401k, tuition reimbursement, and other benefits. In addition, 57% of Wells Fargo's U.S. workforce is female, and 45% of Wells Fargo's workforce is racially and ethnically diverse. And as you can see on the graph on the right, that's just a demonstration of the diversity in Wells Fargo employment. Their next strength is their high goals. So in 2016, Wells Fargo came out with a 5-year corporate social responsibility plan, and it outlined goals in these 3 areas: the demographic and cultural shifts taking place in society, the financial needs of undeserved individuals and communities, and the financial the impacts of climate change and natural resource constraints on communities and customers. Wells Fargo set goals to donate $100 million to advancing social inclusion and expanding opportunities for women and diverse talent, including a goal to increase military veteran team members from 8,200 to 20,000. And though Wells Fargo may not always achieve goals, they do set these high goals, which is one of their strengths. Some of their weaknesses are the cross-selling scandal and low consumer trust. So in 2016, Wells Fargo rose to fame, and not in a good way. They were fully exposed for fraudulent behavior and gained the nation's attention. Personal bankers received bonuses up to 15 to 20% of their salary, and teller received up to 3% for doing this cross-selling. And in order to get these benefits, employees opened as many as 2 million accounts without customer permission. Wells Fargo announced it would pay $185 million to settle a lawsuit filed by regulators in the city and county of Los Angeles. And this just really increased negative perceptions of Wells Fargo. Pre-scandal, their negative perceptions were at around 18%, and post-scandal, they were upwards of 50%. So that whole situation led to low consumer trust. Customers opened 25% fewer checking accounts and applied for 20% fewer credit cards in September compared to before the scandal occurred. Timothy J. Sloan, who was named the new CEO in the wake of the scandal, understood the gravity of the situation when he commented that his highest priority was to restore trust in Wells Fargo. So some of their opportunities are to influence lives through scope and learn from past mistakes. Wells Fargo has so many locations, so many banks, and they have the opportunity to touch the lives of so many people. An example of this would be the cross-selling scandal. They had to fire upwards of 5,000 employees, and all the people, I think it was upwards of 2 million accounts were created, so all those people were affected, the employees were affected, and that was in a negative way. But imagine if Wells Fargo were to implement policies that would influence all those people in a positive way. They have such a big influence that it could create change in the lives of millions. Another opportunity they have is to learn from their past mistakes. So one of the ways Wells Fargo responded to the scandal was the firing of 5,300 employees in 5 years. So there's a couple different sides to this. It was a good thing that they were fired because they were committing fraudulent behavior, but it was really more of the company culture that led them to do this. And for years, Wells Fargo used the mantra, go for great, or in other words, aim to sell at least 8 products to every customer. So that's kind of what the cross-selling means. It means selling different products to the same customer and trying to get them to get as many things as they could with Wells Fargo. So they responded to the scandal by firing everyone who did that, but they were only doing that to get the benefits. So it seems like more of a problem with the culture than it is with those actual employees. And a way they can do this is to recommit to their stated goal of building lifelong relationships with their customers. If they really want to build lifelong relationships, Wells Fargo needs to build back that trust that they had with their customers before. Threats include future online fraud and scams and stakeholder skepticism. So the use of technology in the field of banking makes it so much more enjoyable and simple for customers, but it also increases the likelihood of fraud occurring and customers falling for phishing scams. And even if those threats are from outside the company, well, it's Wells Fargo's responsibility to monitor that and make sure it doesn't happen. And it's especially important for Wells Fargo to keep a close eye on this because they had a fraud scandal in the last 5 years. Another threat is stakeholder skepticism. So following the scandal, stock price immediately dropped. Not only were some customers personally violated through the scandal by having fake accounts open for them, but all customers were affected by the news of the dishonesty employed by Wells Fargo's employees. So the owners were negatively affected, stock price went down, they lost money, and customers were negatively affected, whether that was directly or indirectly. And this stakeholder skepticism is a major threat for Wells Fargo. If they're not able to fix this, then they'll keep losing trust of customers and then they'll lose the customers. So the recommendations that I have today are diversity training and ethics training. In June of this year, Charles W. Wharf, the CEO of Wells Fargo, gained negative media attention for explaining their lack of diversity on the limited pool of Black talent to recruit from. And this was not a good thing to say because it's likely based on systemic racism that they have limited Black talent in their upper management positions, not the fact that there's a limited pool of Black talent to recruit from. Not only this occurrence, but there are so many things that have been going on just in our country that makes diversity training a necessity. At its best, diversity and inclusion training builds comfort with a wider range of perspectives and opinions. It helps employees share more rewarding relationships with peers, colleagues, and customers. Allowing yourself to be challenged and inspired by the ideas and perspectives of others makes for a more impactful day. And the other recommendation I have is ethics training. So, business ethics training in organizations provides strategic mileage, equipping staff with the skills, knowledge, and understanding to anticipate ethical challenges, recognize ethical dilemmas, and make ethically sound decisions. Training in business ethics provides the framework for thinking about ethical issues in the context of employees' unique jobs and work environments. Organizations have a responsibility to impart ethical skills to staff so that they recognize ethical risks in the workplace and deal with them accordingly.